Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Mars square or opposition, the midheaven in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, if you have Mars square or opposite the midheaven in a natal chart, there may be difficulty in terms of finding the energy and vitality, which is Mars, for career-related matters, which is the midheaven. Now, the thing is that let's say if the midheaven is in Sagittarius as an example, career-related matters may be tied in with publishing, advertising, commercial work. It may be doing something with sports, the outdoors, higher education, foreign travel, and career-related matters may be done with a lot of optimism, exuberance, and enthusiasm. Now, could also be, but that is if you have the midheaven in Sagittarius. Now, the thing too is, if you have Mars square or opposite the midheaven in a natal chart, another way it may manifest could be there may be difficulty in finding the drive and motivation, which is Mars, to attain greater social status and stature in life, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say the midheaven is in Aries as an example, trying to attain greater social status and stature in life, may be done in an aggressive manner, but it may be doing something Aries related, whether it may be welding or carpentry, speech pathology, physiology, maybe something with sports. It could be associated with some leadership position. It may be doing something with profession associated with the head, such as helmet or hat design, as some examples. And also too, Mars-related people may not be overly beneficial to your public image and reputation, which is the midheaven. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to have an effect on your public image and reputation. It's to its detriment, or they're overly detrimental to it, but they just may not be around or be of assistance as far as that goes. Now, if the midheaven is in Aquarius as an example, the public image and reputation may be one that's tied in with being altruistic, selfless, humanitarian. It may be the reputation for being an astrologer or doing something with astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, aviation as some examples. And also to Mars square or opposite the ascendant in the natal chart may also be expressed in having difficulty as far as balancing activities with sexual partners, and which is Mars, and the dominant parent, which is often the father. Activities with one may conflict with the other. If you have, let's say if Mars is in Taurus as an example, one or more sexual partners, one or more of them may actually be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody, the characteristics, of that sign. It could be those that are persistent, patient, persevering, stubborn, obstinate, even materialistic. Could be very loyal, steadfast, and trustworthy as well. Now, another thing about these aspects of the natal chart, it could also be where the sexual partners, which is Mars, and Mars-related people in general, whether they can be leaders, people in law enforcement, sports, surgeons, as some examples, sexual partners. Those people, may not be overly, advantageous to your livelihood. Again, it doesn't mean they're detrimental to it necessarily, but they just may not be, there, to benefit it, whether it's apathy, or they're just disinterest, or they're just dominated by their own activities, whatever it may be. And if the midheaven, say, is in Gemini as an example, that livelihood may be tied in with the communications field, whether it be something with reporting, journalism, data, or satellite communications. It could be doing something with manual dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics. And also, too, it could be an arduous task trying to find the enthusiasm, which is Mars, to attain greater notoriety and recognition, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say, for example, if you have the midheaven, say in Capricorn, there may be attempts to attain greater notoriety and recognition. It could just be in business, in general. It may be, notoriety and recognition may be attained in a methodical manner, in a very serious manner, with strong powers of concentration. It could be doing something Capricorn related, whether it could be architecture, construction, could be carpentry, doing something with structure, could be doing something associated with government, politics, or even information technology, accounting, dentistry, as some examples. And also, too, Mars-related people, as I mentioned before, what they're connected with, may not be compatible, with that side of you that is difficult to suppress, which is the midheaven. If the midheaven is in Scorpio, as an example, that side of you that may be difficult to suppress, it could be one that's incisive and probing, but at times may be caustic or very investigative. It could be one, that may be a little bit surreptitious as well. Resilient, but they may see the negative qualities, of that side as opposed to the positive. And another thing too about these aspects in the natal chart and how it may manifest in a natal chart is that supervisors, older people, and the dominant parent, again, which is often the father, may have difficulty and trouble seeing your courage and bravery, which is Mars. If Mars is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, that courage and bravery may often be expressed in home, family-related matters, such as standing up for family members, standing up for your traditions, your roots, your ancestry, as some examples. And it could be, too, where, disputes, which is Mars, with those people, again, the supervisors, older people, and the dominant parent. Disputes with them may have a tendency to be more acrimonious as opposed to constructive. So, if Mars is in Sagittarius, as an example, there may be certain disputes over philosophy, opinions, beliefs, religion, even sports, matters with higher education or expanding horizons, as some examples. And also, too, there may be issues finding the physical strength, which is Mars, for responsibilities and the things you want to accomplish in general, which is the midheaven. Now, if the midheaven, say, is in Libra, there may be responsibilities that are tied in with legal matters, or it could be things associated with arbitration, or negotiation, or relationships. Things that require more sociability than most, as some examples, could involve mediation in some cases. And also, too, physical strength, Libra, it could be doing things maybe where you're, if there's some kind of, work, maybe involving some balancing, which is a little, which requires certain physical strength. I know Libra, energy, it's hard to really see things that would involve, some physical strength. Unless it might be scale production, could be an example. But anyway, another thing too is that, these aspects may be inauspicious for, trying to find that drive and motivation, which is Mars, to attain success, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say if the midheaven is in Pisces, as an example. Success may be attained in a very idealistic manner, with inspiration, or it may be doing something Pisces related, whether it be poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, or the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.